This is a Viper professional training and support webinar, and this is actually being put out by Online Trader Central. And when I say training, I mean that during all my webinars, I do teach how to trade our system. And today is a little bit more about just telling you about our system. But before we get started, trading does involve risk, so you're always at risk of loss. You do trade at your own sole discretion. This is the disclaimer right here. Everybody take a look at that. It's very important that we say that simply because trading does involve risk. I tried to mitigate that risk with some of the tools that I've built and my training. Okay, so let's go ahead, and first off, I'm going to go over just a little bit about Viper Trading Systems. It won't take a moment. All right, our home page is vipertradingsystems.com. Okay, been in business since 2009, so a good long time. We're on 15 years as of this June, I believe it is. 15 years. Okay, so been around a long time. Our website is just very easy to navigate. If you're a member with us, or if you've even got a trial going or something like that, we've got a members area, and your particular module, if you're taking a trial, you'll log into your particular module. If you're taking a 10-day trial with scripts, you'll log into your particular module. And if you're taking, a membership with Viper Trading Systems, you've got access to all our modules. Okay. Training is what we're all about at Viper Trading Systems. Okay. I believe in, for instance, we've got Monday night webinars. Every single week, you've got a webinar, and you can go down through the list. This is actually just literally last night's webinar already. I don't believe in not posting, for months at a time. I'm always up to date on my webinars, and you can see there's a bunch of them in there. You can learn a lot. Okay. We also have, under the regular members area, a trading manual that we've written that's really, really good and comprehensive too. So, when a person's a member or even taking the 10-day trial, you'll actually have access to some of these training materials like this too. Okay. And trading manual, just simply download it. You can even download it to your desktop and keep it. It's got a lot of videos in it, so it takes a moment to download. May take longer since we're in a webinar, because that takes up some of my computer, but there it is right there. It's loading as we speak. Okay. This little trading manual right here will teach you a lot about the type of trades that I'm going to try to go over a little bit. Okay. And the manual, you just simply go to a particular type of trade. We teach a mid-band trade. We teach a phantom trade. We teach a box-in trade. If you wanted to learn about, for instance, a phantom trade, click the button. There it is, and there's a video teaching you exactly how to do it. Okay, so like I say, we're really big time about training. Okay, it's very important to me. Now, what you came to the webinar today for, we're going to talk about the new Fibonacci trader. We're going to talk about the multi-object types, and we're going to talk about cloning. Now, cloning is a really big deal, because cloning means, how many of you have actually used like Apex's trade copier or Replicanto? How many of you already trade copy? Just curious, just show of hands. Because if you don't, you're missing something. You want to see what I'm talking about when I say you're missing something? Let me just show you here real quick. I told people in our trading room that I bought some $150,000 accounts when Apex ran them for 90% off. That was literally like a week ago. I got them funded, and I'll show you here real quick. Let me get this on a little bit darker background, something like that. And I'll show you here what I'm talking about. This right here is what cloning is. Okay, and I'm going to show you the results of the cloning, and then I'm going to show you how to clone. Okay, notice that these are PA accounts. These just literally got started less than a week ago. I actually paid the $260 just the other night. This is another account that's at 3,000 already. See, and look at how you can literally take money all the time. But look at this clone. See this? 2150, 2150, 2150, and 2150. And you think, okay, how do you do that? Well, you just clone. You just simply, with Object Trader, which is a strategy that we built in NinjaTrader, you just simply tell it, I want to trade account number so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so. And there's your results. That's one day, by the way. Okay? Now, is that an unusual day? Not really. It's like any other day. We trade swings, we trade trend directions, and we trade minor breakouts. Okay? So let me show you a little bit about that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up a chart, and you should be able to see a chart on the screen. All right, now what we look for first off is we want to know what is the overall direction. Very, very important. So kind of scrunch your charts, and you can see the overall direction. It's pretty much down, right? Okay, so you've got a red background. You've got a high here. Now, the way I look at it personally is it's going to have to break this, kiss it, and then take off. Otherwise, we're not really looking for longs. Okay, that would be if it broke, kissed, and headed up. Now, right now, you've got it right here. Okay, now the way we teach in the trading room and in the webinars and everything, because I actually even teach during the trading in the trading room too. We have this tool called Object Trader. Now, Object Trader is a simple strategy within NinjaTrader. Simple in the fact that it's pretty easy to use, but it is very complex in the coding and everything. It's literally, pardon me, been built over an 8-year period. So I'm going to show you a little bit about it. So we're going to go into, keep in mind there's no way we can show regular data right now because the markets literally are basically closed within the next 23 minutes. There's going to be no movement. Pardon me just one sec. All right, so this is Object Trader right here. Now what Object Trader is a NinjaTrader strategy. You just simply click it, double click it, put it down in this window right here, and then you want to enable it. Now, when I enable the strategy, it's going to actually put my Object Trader over here on the right side of the chart. So I just simply click Enable, click Apply, and there's Object Trader right there. Now, with Object Trader, you do have to occasionally hit this little max button right here. And the reason for that is because of windows and monitors, because I had this on a different screen a few minutes ago. Okay. Now, we have what we call a phantom trade. I just showed you where the video is on, the little trading manual and stuff like that. So basically, if this doesn't break up and come back and kiss, we're looking for very possibly like a phantom. Now, we've got a tool in Object Trader that's called Object Types. Now, what Object Types does is I can actually choose different types of trades I want to take. And I can even tell it I want multiple object types. Okay, for instance, we have basically a tool called a trend power dot. We've got a phantom trade, and we even have a Fibonacci trade. Okay, and you can take these type of trades. Now, with this short of a run, I'd probably expect my fib to be somewhere around 76, which would be right up in here. The reason for that is because that's not very much of a move. So you'll find as a rule, if you get that small of a move, it'll retrace. It's already retraced past 50 and 61. So I could actually set this to take a Fibonacci. I could have it set to take a phantom. I could have it set to take trend power dots. And I could have it set to take that Fibonacci that we're talking about right there. Okay. And to do that, all I've got to do is say, okay, we're expecting this to be short. Okay, if it touches that 76, we're going to take that trade, but we're also going to take that trade if it does a phantom, and we're also going to take that trade if it does the power dots. Okay, so what you would do is you just simply tell it, okay, you want a short. All right, now this is only if this does hit its head and roll over. Okay, because the whole idea is a rollover. Now there's another thing you can also do on here. You can box it in, okay? Like right now, we've got a little tool called lightning, and let's just draw it. That's lightning 1, so gosh, even lightning 1 hadn't come down, but there's a little swing right there. I could actually turn on a region, and if it did decide to break there, I could even short it. See how I can do multiple object types on here? I can tell it what I want it to do. Now, what I was talking about a moment ago on the clone, what if you decided you wanted to take this trade but do it on multiple accounts? Well, see this little tool here called Viper Clone? This will actually clone up to 100 accounts. Now, nobody's doing 100 accounts anymore. EarnMax went out of business, okay? But Apex does do 20 accounts. So you can clone 20 accounts. Now, I don't recommend it. I recommend cloning 3 or 4, sometimes 5, and you'll do quite well in your trading. You saw, for instance, that little PNG right there, that was today. That's 2150. That was cloned. Okay. This one here was traded afterwards for the 1800. That one wasn't cloned because these had already been traded. Okay. So that's a pretty good total for the day, by the way. Okay. So when you clone your trades, you just tell this clone. Now up here, keep in mind that since I don't have anything but playback on, I don't have a clone. Okay, because we're doing this in playback. But if I was on my sim account and then pull down all my Apex accounts, I can then click the ones I want to trade. Okay, I'll show that in a few minutes. I'll just put my live account up there and I'll show you how to clone it. Okay, so we're ready with Object Trader to take a trade. We're looking for this to hit here. We're looking for a rollover, what we call a phantom trade. We're looking for, what else do we say? Phantom trade, trim power dots, region, and auto fib. Now, what if I didn't want to trade the full contract? I could actually even trade micros instead, and I could take every one of these trades if I wanted to, okay? We could actually just end up just going for the one trade or put it in like auto mode and say we only want like 2 contracts. See that max quantity right there? That limits my contracts no matter what happens here to just 2, okay? If I wanted it up to 10, I can do it. 10, 11, 100, it doesn't matter. Not that you're going to trade 100 contracts, by the way. All right, but simply mitigate your risk. Don't jump in where you could bust up here and start going up 50 ticks. We're going to put a nice tight stop too. Now, we've also built a feature into Object Trader called line stops. Okay, line stops, you just simply say, okay, my line is line 8 right up here. It's a little higher up here, so I could actually put line 8 with exit on close. All right, by doing that, it would have to close above line 8 with the close of a bar. Okay, and if it did, it would take us out of the trade. Okay, so one thing I want to tell you too is that with Object Traders, the new Fibonacci tool that I've designed, my programmer wrote it, but I designed it. We actually have an auto fib. This is not just your normal Fibonacci that Ninja has over here on the left of this toolbar. This is an auto Fibonacci. So if this trade did decide to go up, I'd still have my Fibonacci for another trade. Okay. Now, since this is actually, we're looking more for short, I even use a different one, but we're using what's called auto fib. Notice the difference. See that says auto fib, auto fib, auto fib. That's auto fib OT. That's telling me that Object Trader itself can take that trade wherever I want it. Okay, those are my Fibonacci's right there. Okay, so let's just look at this just real quick. My son and I get up literally at like 4:30. I used to get up with him at 5:30. Now he wants me up at 4:30ish, and that's pretty early for me. Okay, so we've got a Fibonacci here at 76. Okay, so we have region on. Let's go ahead and move our region a little bit because we could actually take it if it breaks mid-band. All right, and we've got our phantom on. We've got our trend power dots on. and we've got that region on, and we've got our auto fib on. Okay. Now, the way this will work, I can set this on multi-object types, which means that it will look for all those object types. And I need to turn that back on because I changed that. So let's turn that back on. Let's turn our phantom back on and our trend power dots. And let's go ahead and take that trade simply because it looks like a pretty good area to take it, doesn't it? Okay. So we can actually take that trade, and keep in mind that with playback and everything, you know, basically you can play around with it as fast as you want or anything like that if you want to. Okay. Now, what I recommend though is that you actually use your, basically what you want to do, if you do playback on a NinjaTrader strategy, what you really want to do is you want to do it in regular time if you can, but if you can't, that's not a problem either. Okay. But if you can do it in regular time, strategies will do a whole lot better than they will otherwise. Okay. So see, we can actually be in a trade. Notice that it kissed my 76 that I had, so it's turned off now. Okay. I've got my stop at the top of this. Actually, I don't now. Let me put it back. Line 8, close of the bar. All right. And we've got our trade in play. Okay. Now, the way we've designed this is you can move the targets. You can move the stop. You can set it at a certain level if you want to. Okay. You can add to the trade. Let's say, for instance, we want to add to this trade. We just go to our object type and say, okay, we can do even a bar close. Bar closes down, we take a trade. We can even do trim power dots. We can do our Fibonacci one more time if we want to. Okay, it's that easy to use. All right. So you're in a trade, you've got your stop in. Okay. And you just let Object Trader do its thing. Okay. Now we've also even designed a trend line that you can even use. See this trend line right here? I can even take a trade based on a trend line break if I want to. All I have to do is turn on my trend line, take it down. Actually, it's not going to let me now because I've got the object types. Never mind on that. We won't do it. But see how we're in a total of 4 right now? That's because the max quantity, when I was playing with it, I set it back at 4. Okay. Now, if that was too much and you think, whoa, wait a minute, that's pretty scary, then go ahead and take, since we're short, take 1 off or maybe even 2 off like that, and see you're mitigating your risk on here. Okay. Now you can also do, you can put your stop right at the swing just in case, something like this. And if it rolls over, you can even add contracts if you want. You just simply turn your object types on. Okay, it's that easy to use this product right here. Now, I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes where I actually called a trade in our trading room today and how easy you can do this type of trading to make money every single day. Because in our trading room, we make money in that room every single day. We trade 4 charts, and you don't have to trade all 4 of them, but I call trades on oil, I call trades on gold, I call trades on YM, and I call trades on ES. That's the 4 that we trade. Now, some of our people like even, you know, something else occasionally, and that's fine too. Okay. Now, keep in mind, by our what we call our phantom rules, see this color of midband right here, this color of background, this is still a phantom trade, even though we're down a little bit. We took this trade this morning, but we stuck with the rules, and we said, you know what? By the way, we were only in 2 contracts rather than 4, like we were just a minute ago. But this trade made you think for a little bit, this might be heading up. See how it's even clicking up here? But it did roll over. And keep in mind that you've got all kinds of object types that you can just put wherever you want them to take the trade. If I wanted to take the break of that box, if I wanted to take the break of that swing, I can do it. I can move that box around and tell it where I want to take the trade. Okay. Now, like I said, our Fibonacci trader, the way it will do, it will do in real time whatever the Fibonacci is doing. This almost faked us this morning. We thought, man, we're on the wrong side of this trade. But notice my mid-band stayed. We felt a little bit of heat. Even with two contracts, you were down about 160 bucks. How many of you will let a trade at least go against you like 160 bucks? Because if you don't, you really shouldn't be trading, because, you know, are they going to retrace to exactly 76.4%? Are they going to retrace to 80%? You don't know, but you do know where your swing is. Okay. Now, if I was in this trade and it starts really heading up again, I'm not going to let it go all the way up here. But see now how you can bring your stop down? Now we're not that much at risk, are we? Okay, see, we're in the money even. If I wanted to take this trade, if it breaks that swing, we could even add a contract. And all you have to do is turn that on and it'll take another trade. Okay, now, one thing that we've done with our auto fibs, by the way, let me just show you. I'll turn on not the auto fib OT, but just this one down here. And let me ask you a question. If that's not a 76% retracement, oil does this all the time. I mean, literally all the time. But could you have taken a 61, gotten 10 ticks, 76, got that monster run? We took another 76 from the downside instead, which is right here. See it right there at the 76, went a little higher. But our auto fib is pretty good, simply because it literally moves in real time. Let me show you what I mean by that. Actually, I'm going to move this out of right here for just now. I'm going to show you something. All right, watch this auto fib. Let me go ahead and turn it off and then back on, because I want you to see just one auto fib, because we're short, so we're looking at a short auto fib. And watch if this doesn't actually just keep moving these auto fibs. You know, you could be in this trade. Let's just make it a little bit faster, because my son and I traded this morning. I know what this did. See how that got into an extra contract even, coming out right out of that box. Now, how many of you would be happy with $320 for a day? Times 5 is $1,600 per week. Now, that's not a lot to live on, because let's face it, inflation's kind of changed things where 80 grand a year is not what it used to be, right? You need at least 100, maybe 150, maybe 200. 200 is kind of in the elite class. It's not Jeff Bezos elite, and it's not Bill Gates elite, but it's pretty good money to come in all the time. Okay, and I think that's important to mitigate your risk. Okay, you want to mitigate your risk, and you want to nicely green, hit a certain level and turn off the machine. Okay, that's what we teach at Viper Trading Systems. Now, if you look at this trade right here, basically it really headed down quite nicely. Okay, but let me show you something. If you miss a trade, what you can actually do. I want to show you a little trick that we use. Now, let's just pretend you're not even in it. Okay, we're gonna just shut it off here in just a second. All right. Do you see another type of trade setting up on this chart? Now, if you've been to my webinars, you do. Okay, because I already see it myself too, and that is this Fibonacci. See it? So let's turn this one off. Just click it like that. That's all you have to do. We can get rid of any lines on our chart or anything we want to do. Okay, and now we look for a mid-band trade. Notice that this background changed to red. My mid-band changed to magenta, which means it's stair-stepping again. So guess what? I'm looking for a mid-band trade. And we tell our people all the time, you can actually be ready for the next trade with our tools, because I'm going to show you something here. If you go to object types, go to mid-band. I like to get within a couple of ticks of mid-band, so I set my offset for 2, and you can set it to remember it. All right, and then I like also like a power dot, trend power dot type trade. like that, and ready to get in the trade. I just tell it multiple object types. And by the way, this training's on our website, so if this gets confusing at all, don't mind that, simply because there's lots and lots of training on our site. You don't have to learn all this right off the bat. But I think I've designed a pretty good tool for you, because look at this, for instance. We've got object types like auto fibs. We've got trend line breaks. We've got predictors. These are the predictors right here. See these predictors up above and below? We've got, pardon me, we've got what we call lightning trades. That's your little zigzags. We've got phantom trades. We've got wedge trades where you actually kind of box in a triangle. We've got bar close trade, and we've got what's called an auto region even. See, I can turn on auto region, and as soon as this actually calculates a little bit, that region will drop to it. See there? Now what this does is this draws the very last two bars. So if I was looking for like a mid-band trade and maybe a trend power dot type trade, I could just not turn on the region to actually trade. I can just turn it off and then wait for the trade to come to me. Okay. But I can also, if I wanted to, I can even take a counter trend trade like off this double bottom and see if I can get up to that mid-band. And that's why I designed this one called auto region, because this auto region draws on the very last two bars. Okay. So if you wanted, for instance, if this double bottomed and you wanted to see if you get up to this next swing, you could certainly go against the trend, because scalping's done all the time. If you've been trading a long time, you know that while you're short, somebody else is long, because they're buying it. You see what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that's the way we trade, but it's not a bad way to scalp some trades. You'll be amazed at how many times you can make $80 or $100 just scalping them. Okay. All right. So let's just turn this off, and let's just go for a trend power dot or mid band. We'll turn this off, and we'll delete it off the chart. All right, and then we'll wait for a mid-band trade. Now, mid-band trade, what you'd want to do is you'd want to draw your fib. I like the mid-band on this trade. See here, that's a 50%. First time in the mid-band after a trend change is usually just spot on at mid-band. So I like that trade. So what I would do is just simply say, okay, I want a 50 and maybe even a 61. So if it goes a little higher, I'll still take it. But you got to see on your chart that you've got a low here, a high here, and a lower low. So if this is going to continue to head down, you can't take that out. So that negates my 61.8. So I turn it off. Now, if it breaks this, it's going to be heading up. So if you look at swings, and that's what I teach every day of my life, this is your swings right there. Would that be a downtrend if it takes that out? No, it would not. It wouldn't be an uptrend yet either. But see, we don't want to go to 61. We just want to look for that 50. So what you do is you just simply look for a mid-band trade. I'm going to show you example after example of mid-band trades. We're going to go to a live account here in just a moment. I'm going to show you some things. By the way, anybody have any questions at all? Feel free to type them in. I am not the type of vendor that goes, well, that's a dumb question. How many of you been in some kind of training and some arrogant guy that thinks he can trade belittles you? Has anybody been that way? I've been in rooms before where they said, don't talk to us unless you've at least been in our trading room for 6 weeks or more. I don't believe in that. Okay, we still got our object type on, short. Okay, now keep in mind, we shut that trade down. We didn't have to yet. I just want to show you how this beautiful thing works. Your mid-band trade right up here, really, really close. See it right there? They're trying. Now we also have a predictor trade above. See how that just kissed out through 2 ticks? That's also a trade. See there? I just saw it hit that predictor, so I just added the predictor trade. It's that easy. It's on the fly stuff. Pretty cool. Okay? Now, let me ask you a quick question. This is key to trading right here. I want to show you something because this is really important. Some people just get into trading and go, wow, I'm up. That's awesome. I'm out. But you want to see a better way to trade than that? Use your lightning. What's this? If this goes down, then your lightning will be right in through here. See how that's trying to head down? So could you put your stop literally above that little swing right there, just a couple of ticks, with our feature called exit on close. Now what exit on close means is that if it touches that, it won't fire the trade at your broker. It has to close above it on a short and vice versa on a long. Okay, that's pretty good to pull it down a little bit further. But do you want out of this trade yet? We like to do what's called measured moves. I want to show you something here. All right, first off, you've got a measured move. That's kind of a double top. So let's do the measured move here to here. So that's your thrust, that's your retrace, and this would be your thrust. Okay, look to the left to trade the right. You've got a swing right over here to the left. They just took it out. See how beautiful that is? Now, could you start tightening the heck out of your stop? What's that measured move? Put your stop just right above line 2. By the way, we've got a tool that'll say line 2, and it will actually get you out of the trade if it even touches or closes above. See how that hit that measured move on the money? I teach that all the time in my trading room. Those measured moves are worth their weight in gold. You can't see them on 15-minute charts. You can't see them on 30-minute charts. Can't even see them on a lot of the Renko charts, but look at that beautiful measured move. Now, let me ask you a quick question. If you did this today and you were up 1470, do you realize that you can pass any Apex account, any Lulu account, any Top Step account? What if you cloned that? What if you did just like I showed here and you cloned 4 accounts? See, that's real. Those are PAs. That's literally real accounts, okay? That's 2150 because I cloned that. Now you can't clone playback because the market's not open. You know, it's 403, the market's closed. But I can show you trades in playback. Now here's another trade right here. What do you think? Looks to be like a mid-band trade. You think? What do you think? Well, let's see where it's going, as a matter of fact. Anybody know how to do a measured move from there? That's your measured move. That's your pullback. That's your next measured move. Now, how many trading rooms have taught you that kind of trading? Anybody? Because I look at everything totally simplistically. I've been trading for over 30 years, and I believe in teaching people simplicity. It's all about the swings. Everything that you do every single day in trading is all about the swings. We'll put our stop just right across there. Always look to the left and you'll see where your stop should go. See the little swing, low, high, lower, low? Put your stop right there at that swing. If it takes this out, see how you got a little swing, high, low, lower, low? Then you can bring your swing down a little bit further, but it's got to close below that swing first. See how easy that is to do? That's good enough, don't you think? I'd probably put my stop about right there now. Exit on close, by the way. If it takes it out, we might get in it again. That's not taking out that low, so I usually, when I see that, I click close. See there, it didn't take out the low. Okay, could we get in again? If it rolls, now we teach what's called a roll trade. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, first off, right here, you can clearly see that your high, low, lower high, and lower low is right there. Anything under that, you are shorting, okay? Now, I shorted that a little bit late, but see how it just kissed that swing and rolled through it? That would be where you would fire the trade right there at that line, okay? You think it'll get that measured move we talked about? You'll find out that measured moves will make you a fortune. That's a little trade secret that's in our Viper room, but I'm more than happy to share it with people because I use them every single day. Measured moves, Fibonacci extensions, you know, use our tools for everything and you'll be amazed. Now, what I'm going to do, we're about 25 minutes from being out of time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on my live account and I'm going to go, we can't trade because it's 4 o'clock, so there's nothing to trade. I'm going to kill this connection and I'm going to go ahead and pull up, let's see, do we have, oh, this is Linda's computer. I don't have my live account on this one. That's all right. We'll just put it on. I don't think Apex will load though. It's real close to 4 o'clock though. Let's see if it will still load. Bear with it just a second. I hope it loads. Usually when it's 4:06, it might not. And if it doesn't, I can't really show you except by going backwards on the chart, and I'll show you that way. But I could easily show you trades that we took in the room this morning, and we looked for measured moves. We got mid-band trades. We got phantom trades. Our favorite trades at Viper Trading Systems, we did load. Let's see if it'll actually bring up the data. Yeah, we lucked out on that because usually by about 4:15, Apex will not load. Okay, you want to see what we actually did this morning, as a matter of fact? I'll show you. First off, I want you to realize that we trade according to, let me just show you, mid-band, first after trend change. Let's say you got up at, you're not up at 4 o'clock, but see my mid-band, stair-stepping? What's my trade I'm looking for? Anybody? First time in a mid-band after a trend change. That's what I'm looking for, okay? Now, watch what happens though that you can tell, and I'm gonna go to where, when I open the room, but look at these beautiful mid-band trades. Our predictor predicts them, we buy, we sell them. Predictor predicts them, we sell them. Predictor predicts them, we sell them. See how those predictors are predicting those trades? Then at 8 o'clock, what was the difference? What happened? My mid-band changed direction. You've got a high here, a low here, a higher high here. You draw on your chart. You look to the left to trade the right. You got another swing right there. See it? High, low, okay? So let me ask you a question. Could you be ready to trade this? Because I actually called this trade in the room this morning, live, okay? Not like, oh, when it's up here, you should have taken it here. I don't do that. And I made a mistake on one gold move today, and we lost $100. And I'll be the first in line to admit it. Messed up on that one. But we also, I said, very, very tight stop. Okay, so watch this, what actually happened. This is right at the open of oil, pretty close. Well, this is about 7:30. But see that beautiful trade right there? And even all the way up to when I opened the room, it was pretty much bouncing out of that area. Okay, and our people take those trades. Okay, now let me ask you a quick question. If you weren't in the trade, what tool could you use to get in the next trade? What have we been talking about for the last almost an hour? Well, 35 minutes, 39 minutes. That little tool right there, right? Auto fib. And keep in mind that this is real data, so I'm going to have to use a different fib. So let me kill this one. Remember, auto fib is going to look for whatever highs there were and everything because it's an auto fib. So let's look instead right here and right there for right now. And let's see if it goes up any higher. It did, so let's bring it up. The beauty of my auto fib is it'll do it automatically. So let me ask you a quick question. Big thrust. Where's your next trade on this chart? Well, if you went with your fib from here, I would say probably 50 to 61. I like to do a 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking for probably around this 50. So I'd be boxing it in. And with our tools, could you even turn on Object Trader and tell it you want that trade? You want to see where that trade actually came to? It went higher, so we got to redo it. Let's go ahead and redo it. Now we got to go from this swing because that's too large of an area. So we're going to go here instead. See how that works? And now we're looking for 38 instead because that's a big move. So now I'm looking for this trade right here. And I can use my little tool to get this trade too. We can go 38 to 50. We're looking for a phantom type trade very possibly. We opened the room this morning. A lot of our people nailed this trade, by the way. And keep in mind, there's other entries here too. Let me show you. See where that lightning is right here? See these little swings right here? These are micro swings right across here. But notice how they pop up and they test them. That trade was called, I believe I was getting the disclaimer ready for people, so they got that trade. But watch what happens with your Fibonacci's. Went up a little higher. There's 38, pretty close. There's 38, close enough. That's called a phantom. This trade was called in real time in the room, and that's called a phantom trade. You want proof of it? I'll show you. The bar will actually flash. And our little trader will take the trade too. Phantom long, green bar flashes. See there? So a lot of times I don't have to call trades because I've got alerts to let people know where the trade is. How about a mid-band trade? Green. See it? Beautiful trade setups. Okay? So nobody's asking questions. What's the deal with y'all? Are y'all asleep today? Feel free to ask any question. I don't want to be just a lone webinar person. Somebody's going to win a $150,000 Apex evaluation account. And with my teaching skills and get you funded, that could be like a $25,000 gift because Apex gives away 25,000. You're 100. There you go. You're talking. Good deal. Oh, absolutely, Dan. That's a very good question. Your market direction, you're going to find out, is with our mid-band. This is key to trading Viper right here. Notice that we went from a downtrend. By the way, first time in the mid-band after a trend change. See the trend change? Goes from, this is long colored mid-band. So it goes from lime green to blue to yellow, changes trends. You look for the first mid-band. Okay, you look for even a second one. But notice that that's a lower high. See that by one tick, but that's still a lower high. Okay, so you take the trade. All right, but what do you do when it changes? Well, it stair steps and you get in a long because this is now going long instead of short. So you're looking at the direction of the trend with my indicators. Pretty cool. It is a lot to absorb, John, but one thing I want to let you know on this is it's like anything. Let me ask you a question. If you were to try to become a doctor, would you have to take a little bit of school? Probably. I wouldn't want you cutting on me if you didn't. So wouldn't trading be about the same way? To where you need to learn a little bit about whatever you're using? Absolutely. Now keep in mind, this is only an hour webinar. We've only been in it 44 minutes. You can't learn Viper in 44 minutes. But I've got people that have been with me since day one that started out years ago and nowadays are mega traders. What do you think about that right there? Those are PAs. Those aren't evaluations. Those are PAs. That's money. Okay, that's real money. That's money that you can get from these people right here at Apex. Okay, and like I said, that was just bought the other day because those people literally offered a 90% off. They gave a 1 day to pass, so got passed. Okay, but I would say this, that what you would want to do is you would want to go, if you were a member of us, for instance, you would want to go to our website, log in under your login, and there's all kinds of studying to do in here. I've got tutorials on how to use Object Trader. You know, I've just been using Object Trader and just showing you trade after trade. Those trades were called, by the way, in the room live. But Object Trader tutorial right here, this will literally walk you through, what do my autofibs do? There's a video. What about my background colors? Why do they change? What makes me look for longs and shorts? Bar colors, lightning, everything's in here. You just simply click on it and watch it. If I want to learn about how to do a region, click, play the video. It's that easy. Okay, so it's not hard to learn. I've got one of the guys in my room. He's basically what I would consider a little bit, for lack of better terms, a little anal. You know, people that really, you know, just study, and, you know, everything has to be their ducks in a row and all that kind of stuff. He's watched 122 of my webinars. And he can go in there and he can see the same trades that I do. Okay, and you'll see them. But the one thing about it, though, is when you're with Viper Trading Systems, we have weekly links that get you into our trading room right here. We've got a weekly webinar right here. And in this live trading room, which is still good through the rest of this week, which is tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, and you can copy that if you want. You're welcome to come into my room. If you want to take a picture of that with your phone, come on in tomorrow morning. But you just simply click on it and register. And then I will open the room at about 7:40 Central Time. And from that moment, I will be diagnosing charts and I'll call the trades. And it's up to you if you want to take them or if you want to just watch them and see how they work. Okay? But our stuff's not as hard as you think. You just have to learn a little bit. You know, for instance, do you have to use every tool that I showed you on Object Trader? No. Charles, anybody familiar? I had a business partner named Charles. He passed away, unfortunately, but he would strictly use the regions. That's all he used. He did not use trend lines. He did not use mid-band bounces and stuff like that. He would box in. Every webinar he taught for the whole 14 years that I knew him, he would box in. And it works. But I developed some tools that will actually even take the trade for you. This is called a power dot, trend power dot. That would take one contract, second contract, even third. And look at that monster move. And all you had to do is turn on my Object Trader to get that trade. Just simply Object Trader, play it back, you know. I mean, if you think about that, if you got in this trade like at mid-band, you boxed it in, you're in at like 79.60, your measured moves all the way up here at 80.04, 80.10 area, right? How much is that? That's 50 ticks. 2 contracts, that's a $1,000 bill. Invite any of you that are in here today, let me just show you something here. Go to our website, go to vipertradingsystems.com. Let me get to it real quick. You can get in touch with me under the contact link on our website, vipertradingsystems.com. You can get in touch with me by my chat widget. This comes directly through to our cell phones. We've got a program that actually literally keeps up with every single person that chats with us or contacts us. We've also got email. Just simply send an email to support@vipertradingsystems.com. If it has to do with licensing issues, send it to Linda. That's my wife. She takes care of that email right there. John, a very good question. John said, is Clone just like Apex's trade copier? And the answer on that is yes and no. The reason I'm saying that is because the way our Clone does is you put your account in SIM and on your main Object Trader. You know, when I was showing you the Object Trader, I'll go ahead and put it back on. Bear with me a second. Okay, I'm putting it back on. If you go to object trader, okay, you put your account in sim and it puts in sim targets and sim stops, but your clones are exposed. Now, the reason for that is because nobody sees you trading. They know how to hunt your stops, right? A bunch of people get in at the same spot, they know where your stop is. But the beauty of our system is that you trade it in sim and you clone it to your other accounts. And as long as you've got a live internet connection, you're good to go. And by the way, even if you lose internet connection, you can always go, quick call to your broker and get out of a trade anyway. But I believe in this simply because we use a main account and then we clone the others. And the way this was done right here is it's cloned. And notice how beautifully, when you fire a trade in sim, it fires on all 4 of those accounts, is the way the clone works. Okay. Any questions on any others? Yeah, that's a good feature. We had that designed about 6 months ago, I'd say. The one thing about it, you don't have to buy a trade copy or anything because it's part of my scripts. I've even got it. I can't show it right now because unfortunately, again, we're not on live, we're on playback. But you can even, when you choose your account, you can even tell it trade one account in full account and one account in micro if you want, because I've got the choice of, if you've got a full account here, you can choose micros instead. Okay. But I'll tell you, even with all the tools that I've built at Viper Trading Systems, we have never gone up in price. I spend a small fortune on programming, but I don't care because I trade my system. So when I pay my programmer anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month sometimes, it's so that you can have the best tools out there. Because the one thing about Viper Trading Systems is, if you've ever been to my webinars, we teach people to fish. Okay. I say this in every webinar simply because if you can learn to fish, you can feed yourself. If you have to have somebody feed you a fish dinner, you know where that's going, right? That means you'll never feed yourself. And there's a lot of people in this world like that. They want somebody to hand them something. But we're all about teaching you to fish so you can feed your own family. And keep in mind that if you did just this today, now these are new PAs, it's not counting my other ones, but this is 18, 21, 21, 21, 21. That's 11,000, over $11,000. Now I'm not saying you can do that because I know the system like the back of my hand. But I am saying that if you'll struggle along with us, learn some things, you can do pretty good. Because I have people all the time typing in, great trade call, Gary, because I call a trade in the room. How about that trade right there? That was a mid-band trade. Think about that. That's not that big of a trade, but it took out the top, right? It barely took it out. And I told my people, hey, we took out the top. Put your stop close below the line. And guess what we did? We got out of that trade when it closed back below the line because all they did is double topped, a little bit of a wick on a big candle. But what happened shortly after that? Is that a mid-band trade like I've been teaching all afternoon? First time, by the way, we also draw what we call line in the sand long shorts. You got a high, you got a low, you got a higher high. They break that, they're heading down. And we drew that in real time in the room. Our people shorted that. Our people shorted this. Okay. And then you just wait for the trend to change the other way. That's your phantom, and I'll prove it to you. And then we're going to wrap. This is called a phantom trade. And I will just absolutely bet you that that candle right there will flash. Phantom short trade, see it? That's telling you to take that trade right there. Could you tell my little trader, though, to take the trade for you? Turn on phantom, turn on short, and it'd fire that trade on that bar. That's first time into phantom after a trend change. This particular trade is about 85% probability of working. This trade is about 85% probability of working. You don't want a second and third phantom, and you don't want a second and third mid-band unless they break take the previous swing out, get another mid-band, get a phantom. But pretty soon it's all going to, you're only promised a certain amount of trades. When they thrust, they retrace, they thrust, they retrace. They're going to finally change trend directions, and they do it all the time. Okay, so real quick, there's a bunch of you still in the room here right now. Who would like to win a $150,000 Apex account? All of you? Can't do that, but I'll tell you what I can do. Linda's got a random generator right here, and let me see what number she came up with. Just 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, Linda said that the number that pulled up on the random generator on another computer, what we do on that, by the way, is we put in the number of people that are in the room. We then put in that number into a random generator, and it generates a number. Okay, y'all ready? Whose first name starts with an R, last name starts with an N? See if you can guess it, Ron. Ron Nowak. All right, Ron Nowak won a $150,000 Apex account, and all Ron has to do is go to our website, go into Apexes right here, and if you don't have an account with them yet, you have to sign up. But if you do have an Apex account with them, all you've got to do is simply use our coupon for this discount right here. We will pay the full amount of it, okay? And be sure and use our coupon, and our coupon is on our website at vipertradingsystems.com, and there's the discount code right there. So you simply buy a $150,000 account, and Linda will cheerfully send you the money back. Now, we can't buy it for you. The reason for that is because Apex won't let us do that. You have to buy it, and then we'll refund you that full amount, okay? So be sure and use my coupon. All right. Everybody enjoy the webinar today? I like to make my webinars interesting, but I also like to make them serious enough that you realize that we've got some good tools. Phantom trade, ratcheted down, see that? Phantom trade. What is this right here? Ratcheted down, phantom trade. They're all over the place. You can take them. Some people would probably think, wow, I'm going long. No, look at this, the way this is heading. Is that a long trade? No, it is not a long trade. That's a phantom trade. See it flashing? That's telling you that's a phantom trade. Okay? My training is there on the website. By the way, if you want to just simply take a trial with us with Viper Trading Systems, if you don't care about the scripts just yet, click on this button right here, take a free trading room trial. You get 10 days in my trading room, 10 trading days in my trading room, okay? This trial right here, we charge for, and the reason we do, because I have to set you up and do different things like that. 10-day trial includes my scripts. You click it, and you pay $39.99, and you get 10 days, okay? So you get either this one, or if you just want to join the trading room and see, is this guy for real? You want to hear the trade calls in real time? Then simply click on that one. Free trading room trial, pulls up, you put your name, email, phone number, checkout for free, okay? You want to do the scripts, you just simply do the scripts on a 10-day trial, but it's $39.99, okay? And if you want to join, by the way, if you've already been to my webinars and things like that, I lowered my price recently. Pricing, $2.99 a month. Just for attending this webinar, I'll give you $50 a month off for the rest of your life as long as you're with Viper. Okay? And this one's real easy. Don't take this one because you'll be paying the full $2.99. Just simply use our code. I'll give you the code, and then we've got to wrap. Just one sec. Bear with me 1 second. I need to get that code real quick. Bear with me one moment. I didn't have this as of yet, but it won't take me a moment to get it. And I'm going to put it in the chat log. If you want to join me, you think I'm the real deal, and you know I've been around 15 years, so I'm not a Johnny come lately or anything like that. And I've got lots of members all over the world. Here is the link if you would like to join us and save $50 a month for as long as you're with us. Okay, just copy that. Oh yes, absolutely, John. The paid trial also includes the room. It includes everything, including the scripts. The only difference is this object trader will only trade in sim or playback. You have to be a full member to have the full scripts, simply because it trades. I mean, you could not know what you're doing and accidentally mess up your own account. So we make sure that people that are members with us, they know how to do it. Okay. Because right off the bat, you're not going to really know how to do anything with us yet. Okay. Any final questions before we wrap? I'm getting ready to go to a birthday party, grandson. All right. Now, if anybody signs up, keep in mind that we're going to be gone for the next couple hours, so nothing will happen except automatic stuff with you. But I'll be more than happy to help you even put scripts on in the morning and things like that. Love to have you with us. Thank you very much for coming to my webinar. And keep in mind that at Viper, we're building some of the best trading tools that anybody could possibly have. We use the same charts every day. We don't deviate. You know, I don't tell you to look at a day chart, a 15-minute, a 30-minute, a weekly, a yearly, anything like that. We trade right off of what we see. Swings are king. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming. I will put this in, we'll send a recorded copy to everyone. All right, thanks everyone.